Okay, so today's learning intention is I will learn how to use trigonometry to solve for right triangle angles. Okay? Right triangle angles. So the angles that are in the right triangle. Okay? So go ahead and get that down. Go ahead and make sure you have all your perfect squares down. Okay, so once again, we're not using TI-30s. Of course, if you are using one, make sure you show your steps. Your calculator must be in degrees, so you might double check that. I think everybody's in here should be good to go, though. If you're getting wrong answers that aren't matching up with mine, let me know. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this triangle and we're just going to label it. Okay, so we're going to talk about theta again. And if we remember, theta looks like this, and it stands for our missing angle. Okay, so I'm going to put theta here on my triangle, and I'm going to label this this guy based off where my theta is. So theta is going to be my missing angle right here. Okay, so based off of this, we always know our hypotenuse is across from our right angle. And if I look at theta, this is my angle. So I have a leg down here. And is this leg touching this angle or not touching it? It is touching it. Good. So this one is adjacent to it. Adjacent. Okay, and then this leg over here, is this leg touching it or not touching it if this is my angle? Not. Good. So this is my opposite. Okay. So we're going to come down here. As a review, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine, yeah, this part is review. That is correct. But we're going to be using it again today, so it's good to review. So, yep, so perfect. So cosine, this is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay. And then my tangent, this is the only one that doesn't have hypotenuse. So this is going to be opposite over adjacent. Okay, and then last time we learned some little acronyms to help. We learned SOHCAHTOA. Okay, and it stood for sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse. And the CA is cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, and the TOA is tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we're going to take that and put it to work here. So it's a lot like last time, okay? Only this time we're identifying a missing angle. Last lesson we were trying to find a missing side. Okay, so today's a missing angle. But like last time, we're going to ask ourselves, the first thing is there a hypotenuse on this one? Is there a hypotenuse? No. There is not. Very good. So if there is not, we automatically know we're dealing with what? Tangent. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. So it's going to be like this. Oops, opposite over adjacent. Okay? So the way we're going to set this up, it helps me. That's why I do it. And I recommend you doing it. Okay? Okay? So the way we're going to set this up this time is last time we would put tangent and the degree. Well, we don't have a degree, so this time it's tangent x. Okay? Equals my opposite. So here's my degree. What's opposite of this? What's not touching it? Yes, 5 is not touching it. And my adjacent is, yes, 7 is touching it. Very good. Okay, so the way we're setting it up in our calculator is this is going to be x equals, and today we're dealing with an inverse tangent, and it's 5 over 7. And the reason why is last time we had a degree. It gave it to us. we try to find a side. This time we're trying to find the measure of an angle. So we're using our inverse tangent. So right now I want everybody to locate their sine, cosine, and tangent buttons on their calculator. Okay, and in order to use your inverse tangent, if you look above it, you should see tangent to the -1. Do you guys see that? Very good. So everybody see it. So to get that, you hit the second tangent negative. Very good. So in your calculator, you're going to hit tangent, let me say that again, second, tangent to the -1, and then 5 divided by 7. Okay, so we should have came up with 35.5. And this time, guys, you need to label it with a degree because this is an angle measure. Angles are in degrees. So we need to make sure we do that. Okay, let's look at number 2. Always, I'm going to say, is there a hypotenuse? No, there's not. We are dealing with what? Tangent. If there's no hypotenuse, it's always tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So in my calculator, or I guess let's set it up first. That's going to be tangent y equals, my opposite of y is what is not touching it. What's the opposite? 12 over what is touching it? 18. Very good. So now in your calculator, I'm going to put y equals, and this is my inverse tangent, 12 divided by 18. So everybody go ahead and enter that, and let's see what we get. All right, so we should have came up with y equals, and it's an approximation. Again, we're rounding 33.7 degrees. Okay? All right, number 3, right away, I want everybody to change this. There was a typo, so we need to cross out 88 and put it up here. Okay, everybody do that. Okay, so everybody should have got this fixed. So first of all, we're going to identify is there a hypotenuse, first of all? Yes, there is. There is a hypotenuse. It's right here. So if there is a hypotenuse, I'm going to go write it right away. It's always on the bottom. And now we need to figure out, it's either going to be sine or cosine, right? So I have my angle degree right here. So the other number it's giving me is over here. Is it touching or not touching? Not, so that's opposite, right? And there's technically nothing down here, because we crossed that out. Okay, so OH is what? Cosine is AH. Sine, very good. Yep, okay. So this is going to be sine V. Oops, I didn't write sine all the way. I'll fix that. Sine V equals my opposite was 78 over my hypotenuse, which is 88. So in my calculator, I'm going to write V equals, and this is my inverse sine, equals 78, whoops, not equals, 78 over 88, okay? So you put second sine, and that's how you get your inverse sine, and then 78 divided by 80. Okay, what did we get? 62.4 degrees. Very good. Okay, we have one more. I want you guys to try to do number 4 on your own. Okay, try to do number 4 on your own. Remember, the first thing you ask is there a hypotenuse? No. No, okay, so that's a hint. All right, you guys got it. Okay, so like I said, the first thing is really good to identify whether or not there is a hypotenuse. Here, there is not. As soon as you know there is not, you know you're dealing with tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. Okay, this is my missing angle. It's angle Z, so this is going to be tangent Z equals, and my opposite of 12 is this leg over here. This is my opposite, so this is 5 over my adjacent, which is 12. Okay? Any questions on that? We good? So in my calculator, I'm going to say Z equals, and this is my inverse tangent, 5 divided by 12. And what did you guys get? What did you guys get? 22.6. 22.6 what? Degrees. Very good. Okay. All right. I want to look at the homework with you real quick. There's just probably like 2 things I'm going to point out. Okay. So let's look at number 1. Okay. On our lesson, our missing angle had like an X and then a Y and a V. Here we have theta. Okay? So I'm going to help you set up number one just like we were. And so first of all, is there a hypotenuse? Yes. So we know H is on the bottom. So theta is my missing angle in this case. So the other thing it's giving us, the other leg is over here. So is it touching this angle or not touching? Yes, so this is opposite. So OH is what? Sine, very good. Okay, so then this is going to be sine theta equals, my opposite was 24 over my hypotenuse, which is 30. Okay? So in your calculator, you're going to use, it's going to be theta equals your inverse sine 24 over 30. Okay? So theta is approximately what? Anybody have it? 53.1 what? Degrees. Very good. So we have theta on all of these. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I want to direct our attention to number 5. Once you get down to here, they're not giving us theta or variables in the angle anymore, are they? This time, it's a missing side. So this is what we did last lesson. So let's look at number 5. So if it's a missing angle, it's the inverse of sine, cosine, or tangent. If it's a leg, it's the regular. Does that make sense? So this one, first of all, is there a hypotenuse? There is. Okay? And this is my angle, so I go and I look. Is the other thing that it's giving us touching it or not touching it? Is it touching it or not? Yeah, it's touching it, so that's adjacent. So AH is what? Sine, cosine, tangent. Cosine. Very good. So the way, yep, I'll keep going through this one. So the way we're going to set this up is cosine, and this time it's not theta or variable, it's 49. Equals, my adjacent was x, over my hypotenuse, which was 23. So these are like what we did on our bell ringer this morning and what we did last lesson. So now we got to get rid of that denominator, and we got to do it to both sides, and that allows these to cancel. And now I have 23 cosine 49 equals x. Okay? Is my x by himself? Yes. So that means I can put this in my calculator and come up with x. X is approximately, and does anybody have it? 23 cosine 49. 15.1. Okay? This is not a degree because it's a missing side. Make sense? And it's not an inverse cosine because that's when we're finding a missing angle. All right? Okay, and then the very bottom, 9 through 14, that's just radical review, okay? Square roots. You need to show your steps or it will be wrong. All right.